Honourable Member for Vancouver Kingsway.
Mr. Speaker, it is with great humility and reverence that I rise in this honourable chamber to address it substantively for the first time. I offer first my most heartfelt thanks to the people of Vancouver Kingsway for allowing me the privilege of representing them. I will do everything I can to justify their faith. I must express my profound appreciation to my family, whose love and support sustain me, and all those who volunteered on my campaign, without whose contributions I would not be here. I extend also my most sincere congratulations to all of the members of this House on their own elections, whichever party they belong to. Their dedication to their communities and their commitment to their country are worthy of our deepest respect. They certainly have mine. Mr. Speaker, I would like to start by sharing with the members of this House a little of what Vancouver Kingsway is about, and what I heard the citizens of our great riding express in the last federal election. Mr. Speaker, Vancouver Kingsway epitomizes Canada. It is a wonderful mosaic of diverse cultures, vibrant communities, and boundless optimism in what our society can attain and should be. It exists in the markets of Victoria Drive, where you will hear commerce conducted in the energetic cadences of Cantonese and Mandarin. It lives in the community halls of Fraser Street, where you will see the cultural expressions of every province and state of the Philippines, Pakistan, and India. It is found in the small businesses of Kingsway, where you will meet hardworking Vietnamese, Korean, and indeed entrepreneurs of every nationality imaginable. You will see it in our wonderful network of neighborhood houses at Collingwood, Cedar Cottage, and Little Mountain, and in the Multicultural Helping House, all of which are engines of social development and cross-cultural bridges. And it can be witnessed in countless citizens groups, like those active in Riley Park, Kensington, and Norquay, whose residents devote their time and talents to developing livable neighborhoods that work for everyone. Mr. Speaker, what you will see in these and every one of the communities of my great riding is people living, working, and celebrating in cooperation and tolerance. And as an integral part of the tapestry of our nation, Vancouver Kingsway thrives with energy and life. But, Mr. Speaker, there is also great need in the riding I represent. Fully 50% of Kingsway families survive on less than $50,000 of total household income, and tens of thousands of families survive on much less than that. The average citizen earns just over $21,000 a year, a challenging income to survive on in an expensive urban city like Vancouver. There are 6,000 families headed by single parents, primarily women. There are 24,000 children and youth deeply concerned about their futures, and a full quarter of whom live in poverty. There are thousands of immigrants who are underemployed, living in economic difficulty, and separated from their families. There are seniors who live in deprivation, disabled who live in isolation, and homeless who live without hope. But, Mr. Speaker, the citizens of Vancouver Kingsway are resilient, resourceful, and positive about our future. And they have spoken loudly and clearly this last election about their needs and desires. They have articulated what they expect from their federal government and all of us elected to guide the policies of our nation. The people of Kingsway want affordable housing where every person in our community can live in dignity, safety, and security. They need more co-ops, more rental stock, and more non-market housing of all types. They want their federal government to re-enter the housing arena in this country, and there are perfect opportunities in my riding to do so by creating affordable housing at sites such as Little Mountain and the soon-to-be vacated RCMP headquarters. They need quality childcare that is accessible, stimulating, and affordable. In these tough economic times, they want a national childcare program that will help Canadian women and men cope with the challenges of raising healthy children. They desire good jobs that will allow them to support themselves and their families, jobs that are safe, valued, and give a fair return for their hard work. They want to protect our environment, address climate change, and build an economy that is sustainable for our children and future generations. They hope that the federal government will lead and partner with them to help retrofit their homes and buildings and develop clean sources of energy like solar, wind, and geothermal. They require a strong education and skills training system that is available to everyone regardless of income. They know that a well-educated society is critical to their own, their children's, and our society's future. They yearn for an immigration system that is fair, fast, and effective, one that sees foreign credentials recognized, families united, and immigrants better supported to succeed in their chosen country. They need more public transit, quality public facilities, and a strong public healthcare system. They want the federal government to support our arts and culture sector. They favor a strong public broadcaster, support for institutions like the CBC Radio Orchestra and BC Ballet, and they want our visual, performance, and creative arts to flourish. They realize that a worthy nation values its culture as well as its economy. They want a society that takes care of our seniors, nurtures our children, and protects our vulnerable. And Mr. Speaker, they believe in a Canada that is peaceful, just, and a model of mature behavior on the world stage. While they support our men and women in the military, they want us out of Afghanistan, out of combat, and back into peacekeeping. Mr. Speaker, the good people of Vancouver Kingsway sent me here to bring these goals to the attention of the Government of Canada and to work immediately, tirelessly, and forcefully to try to achieve them. And I am both honored and committed to do so. Now, there is one issue that is of special interest to the citizens of Vancouver Kingsway that must be drawn to the attention of this House, and that is the issue of democracy. In short, they want to send the clearest message possible that the votes of our citizens must be respected at all times and in every way. They stand firmly against those who subvert democracy by crossing the floor, and strongly against those parties who would put their political interests ahead of the democratic expression of our citizens. All citizens of this country owe a debt of gratitude to the thousands of Kingsway residents who stood valiantly and unceasingly for the integrity of our political system and for democracy in our country. Beyond that, the citizens of Vancouver Kingsway also want real democratic reform in our nation. They want our government to respect the fact that Canadians have chosen a minority parliament and to recognize that compromise and cooperation are expected for the betterment of our country. And they want proportional representation so that our parliament will finally and accurately reflect the votes that we cast. In addition, Mr. Speaker, like most Canadians, the people of Vancouver Kingsway are concerned about their economic futures, their jobs, their savings, their mortgages, their pensions. They want us to ensure that the interests of our middle class, our working families, and our small business sectors are protected and supported. Now, Mr. Speaker, although there are some measures in the speech from the throne that are positive and for which I give the government credit, unfortunately, the real concerns facing the people of Vancouver Kingsway have not been adequately addressed. But I will work hard to convince the members of this Parliament that the measures I outlined and others are not only greatly needed, they are the right ones to put our economy back on a solid base. The citizens of Vancouver Kingsway work hard, and they believe in a country that rewards effort and initiative, but they also believe in a nation that is compassionate, fair, and committed to social and economic justice. Mr. Speaker, several decades ago, Tommy Douglas exhorted Canadians to take heart, because it's never too late to build a better world. I think such a sentiment is particularly apt today, and that the citizens of Vancouver Kingsway want us to get started on that task. I look forward to contributing in every way I can to this noble goal. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.